I'm raising a baby girl. And then on the other hand, we have this family element, this norm that I've grew up with, seeing my aunts, my uncles, my mother drink their life away. Here we are back once again. It is I who is truly the maniac, Thando Nkonyana. I create this episode in the holy name of Shiva, another current state of mind. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon as I'm recording this. First of all, counterproductive club. Message of the day today, most importantly, sorry for that, is for us to start off on a note that still I prevail. A reason why I believe in prevailing is the fact that obviously temptation is going to be in your way. So that is going to be our key theme today. Obviously, every now and then I'm going to go on to other aspects of the struggle that I faced. First of all, we're grateful, Shiva, for giving us another opportunity to venture into the concrete jungle. As your host, Thando Nkonyana, I continue with one of my favorite segments on the podcast, Current State of Mind, an opportunity for me to sit down with the self and reflect on the past couple of weeks. We're nearing towards the end of May. As this is recorded on the 17th of May 2025 on a Saturday. This is a couple of minutes before, is it 2 o'clock? No, it's not 2 o'clock. Couple of minutes away from 4 o'clock. But the main emphasis on this current state of mind is firstly the emotional journey. The past 2 weeks have been an emotional roller coaster. I'd be lying if I said things were easy, because they ain't. And in within all through that, I had to remind myself the importance of it has to be hard before it gets easy. And I believe that everything that you are going to be going through, Thando, through the concrete jungle is nothing that's going to be permanent. The reason why I'm telling you this, young man, is because when you're going through the most, I think your focus is so much on the things that you cannot be able to control, instead of focusing on what you can control. And one of the main emphasis, and this is for anyone who can be able to relate to this, is that when we are going through struggle, the brain defaults to escapism. The reason why I say escapism is because you can be able to teach yourself confrontation while going through the struggle as well. For you to timid the mind and tell it that, you know what, this current thing is not going to be. The reason why I tell you this is not the end, Thando, is because of the fact that everything that you are going to go through right now is only going to be a preparation for the next. And one thing I've noticed about lessons that we don't learn from is the fact that they will come disguised later on as things that we should take attention to. We're never going to be able to go forward if you don't learn from those things. So I found myself in a place where the old self thought it could be able to penetrate and run through me. When I go through hard times, escapism used to be the thing. I used to escape through alcohol. I used to escape through weed. But I decided one day that it wasn't worth it at all. Obviously, there were a series of things behind assisting me in terms of transitioning, in questioning what this habit is actually doing for me. But the ultimate thing is that I'm the one who had to make the decision to be like, you know what, for once in your life, in your adult life, not even in your entire life, in your adult life, you need to be able to face your problems with a sober mind. No form of escapism. And this is a matter of self critique. And if someone who's going to be able to watch this can be able to relate that, to know what, I think the struggle needs me to be in a sober state so I can be able to face it. I'm not saying you're going to face it much better, but I'm just saying there's a higher chance that you would have a clear mind, because at the end of the day, it's not just getting rid of those habits, it's also reinforcing positive ones on top of that. And this is, again, a self-critic tool that I used to say that alcohol is not doing you good, drinking is not doing you good, because first of all, there are people who would have access to you, and yet they didn't if you weren't drinking. It just shows, I'm not saying the real you is the drunk you, but there's one thing that within my journey I have actually observed is the fact that when I was indulging in the habit of smoking and drinking, certain people had access to me that wouldn't have access to me if I was sober minded. Because in my sober state, my mind defaults to what I wanted to do. That was me starting the podcast, me motivating, me learning apps, me sitting on YouTube, me having constructive criticism conversation, me discussing plans with people that actually want to go forward as well. And take nothing away from anyone who actually drinks. And this is why I'm saying this again, and I think I'm going to alliterate this so much on this episode that don't take it personal what I'm saying. Because remember, this is me self-critiquing. But if you can be able to relate to self-criticism as well, because at the end of the day, you have conversations with yourself every single day. Every single day you are making a decision. Even when you leave this house, you're going to make a decision, Thando. Are you going to turn left? Are you going to turn right? Are you going to go to the shop? What are you going to buy? That is decision making on a daily basis. But then a bunch of bad decision can lead up to a bad result. So it's not just one decision made overnight. It's a collective of all these bad decisions which lead towards the bad outcome itself. So when we're self-critiquing, and you have also a circle that is telling you, people that are around you telling you, you know what, I don't like the person you're becoming because of this alcohol. Well, first instincts is, does this person want me to stop? Don't they want me to have fun? Why can't I have a little bit of fun? But on the other hand, I had the responsibility of being an example, being a father. It was more of an escapism. It was no longer about enjoying it, having fun. It gets to a point where you are so intoxicated that it becomes a habit, where you get to a point where you can't live without being intoxicated. Because when you become sober, your habits, I'm not even talking about it, the thoughts that come to you when you are sober are the ones that are always going to want you to confront yourself. But because when you are dumbing yourself down by being chemically off balance, and that is consuming alcohol, then you have a less likely chance of being able to attend to those thoughts. We don't understand the long-term impact that consuming alcohol actually has on the brain. And the power that it takes away from you in terms of decision making. And I'm not saying that for someone, I'm saying that about me. To be honest, as much as I had the bad company because of this, it also impacted my decision making. My decisions were not productive. They were not thought out through. It was more of everything is a reaction instead of you acting upon that thing. And I don't want you to take me wrong. I just want you to to give yourself an opportunity. I know that that's very hard for other people, but I just want you to take a moment and sit down by yourself And in within you sitting down, have the inner conversation about all these destructive habits that you do have. Because remember, we justify anything in order for us to continue to keep on doing it. And everything is a learned behavior. You weren't born and all of a sudden you are consuming all of these things. You are smoking all of these things. And I'm saying this again. This is not a matter of judgment. I'm not judging you. I'm pointing you back to yourself. Like, how is this impacting me and my ability to show up in the world? Because there are people who are still doing the very same thing so-called society outlines as destructive, but they have means to be able to have control over them, and they do not let these things have control over them. So these destructive habits, do they have control over you, or do you control them? Control in the sense where, remember, you're negotiating with yourself every day. And in with you negotiating yourself every day, there is this certain programming that when the weekend comes, we must drink. When the weekend comes, we must smoke. But what are the outcomes of those things, of those decisions? So we stop doing all of these things. But imagine stopping a destructive habit. You have to replace it with a constructive habit. We stop drinking. We need to start reading. We need to start to listen to podcasts. We stop smoking. We need to start working out. We need to start eating healthier. We need to start drinking water. We need to start growing, making gardens. And it's something sometimes when I look back, I didn't see how unconsciously I was ridding myself of these habits. But back to the emotional roller coaster. So when the old self wants to come and remind you that the progress you have made is a progress that doesn't matter, that is when you want to sit there. Either you accept it and you feel, no, the old me, the old habits that I killed were actually the ones that kept me safe. Because it's either you go for safety or you go for risk. You can't choose both. You can never have a positive life and yet you have a negative mindset. So this old self wanted to come through and I nearly gave in. And it also made me think about the fact that we think the devil is someone physical, but we walk with this person all the time. We think God is someone out there that is higher than us, but we walk with that person all the time. So I was having ungodly thoughts. I let Satan remind me that the old me was the person that deserves to live right now. And I literally have to kill that motherfucker every single opportunity I get, because when struggle comes, that's the first thing. He comes at you at your weakest. He likes you when you're in idle mode. I went to couple of days. I'm not uploading. Damn. I'm not putting content out. Damn. What's happening? But what's happening in the background is that something is growing. I went back to my YouTube channel and I see I gained 2 subscribers. I'm like, whoa. The work you put in 2 years ago, someone is tuning in. To me, when someone subscribes to my channel, it's a means to say, I've received value and I'm willing to get even more. That's why I'm subscribing. Board. We will get to a point where we start advertising. But then remember, I am trying to unprogram the consumer in me and reprogram the creator. Anything and everything that you're currently watching right now, someone produced that. Even us as creators, we have to consume because we need to learn. And in us learning, that is how we can become better. in making mistakes, that's how we become better. When we get feedback, constructive criticism, that is when we do better. So all of these are ingredients for the pathway for you to do good. Never see it as means for it to destroy you. So now I'm sitting there, I'm questioning this devil. I'm like, bro, why do you miss the Thando that used to drink? Why do you miss the Thando that used to smoke? You want to go into comfort mode immediately? Okay. Tell you what, go on YouTube, go on Spotify, go and look at the very first episode. Go and listen to that episode. And then when you're done, listen to the last episode and tell me how far you've gone. And I did that. I went and listened to a very old episode of myself that I uploaded. And then I went and listened to something now. And then I started to think back. I'm like, whoa, you've come very, very far for you to give up. You come very, very far for you to doubt yourself. It's okay. These times are going to come. They are going to be a threat to who the current you is. But it's only the chatter. The old you still lives there. The chatter is still there. That is when you should be mindful that he's not the one in control right now. Because the destructive you doesn't have the ability to be constructive. So you need to actually put to bed this destroyer in within you so that the builder can continue to lay the foundation. Because you are living in fear, man. Fear of what could happen. And yet you're not taking a chance. You're not shooting your shot, Thando. What have you got to lose? If it doesn't work out, dang, ain't nothing wrong. You only find a way that doesn't work. On to the next one. Go and discover something else. Because you might take a detour, but remember the destination is still the same. Remember the dream that you were writing in 2016, 2017 on a piece of paper? I still have that diary. You need to go back to that shit. You need to go and fine tune that shit and construct it in the now. You're also learning how things are moving currently. But don't forget, everything started in that book. Everything started in you expressing yourself. Everything started you speaking and no one was listening. Everything started when you were uploading for 2 full years and nobody was listening. Every single day you were going back to one episode, 0 listens. But at the end of the day, you understood that you have value to bring. That is why you continued. That is why you didn't stop. So you're going to let a minor hiccup stop you? Come on, you need to do better. You've come this far and you want to quit? Remember, when you quit, that's permanent, bro. You live with that your entire life. That's infinity. That's you having a conversation with the inner you. The complacent you is going to tell you, no, it's fine. And the future you be like, if only you executed, do you know what we would have become? Do you know where we would have gone? But because you listen to the lesser self, the destructive self, here you are, feeling sorry for yourself. Your emotions will lie to you sometimes. That's because you are not using them as a guide to come out of what you are currently facing. Instead, you are using them to console yourself and say, it's fine. It's not fine, bro. It's fucked up. It's not fine, bro. Because at the end of the day, you must deliver. People don't care what you're going through, bro. We want that content. Wrap up your shit, bro, and put it in your art. Put it in your music. Put it in your art form. Use that as a form of expression. deconstruct in a constructive way. And don't forget to be nice to yourself, bro. We go back to 5 years ago. Who are you? 2020? You were a piece of shit. You had nothing. But you were hungry. What happened to that hunger, Thando? Did getting a job make you complacent? Have you been consumed by the poison of the work environment that you're currently in? Has corporate got to your head? Do you know who you are? Do you know how great you are, Thando? Do you know how amazing you are? Do you know you come from greatness? Don't forget. We got a new member to the family. We're collecting this shit like infinity stones. We celebrate every win. Just when you think shit ain't working out, nigga, the universe can toss down something towards your pathway. It's gonna remind you, oh, G, we ain't done. It ain't over. It ain't over, bro. It ain't over. You think the higher power will put something in your pathway that you're gonna... No. But I'm reminding you again, it ain't over. It ain't over, bro. It's only over when you take a last breath. Are you still waking up? It ain't over. Are you still showing up? It ain't over. You got so much to be thankful for, bro. You really got so much to be thankful for. Unlock that gratitude attitude. Back to those affirmations, bro. Back to the meditation. Back to self-affirmation. Back to sitting in nature. Back to basics, bro. Back to being zen. Back to the good shit. On a highway to heaven, you are going to be met with thorns. Thorns in the sense of they see your halo. Sometimes you don't see it. And when they see it, because they don't want you to reach your greatness, and they are the many versions of yourself that's holding you back. It's never about the external, it's always about the internal. So within, so without. So if I don't have peace in within self, if there is no coherence, there is no leveling of the chakras, if I'm not zen, if I am not at peace, if I'm not at touch, nothing will work out. You're creating heaven and hell in within and you expect to have peace in the world? Come on, bro. Whatever is on the outside, that's not in your control. People gonna behave how they gonna behave. That's not on you. That's never a reflection of you. That's why you should keep on being a beacon of hope and love and appreciation. God gave you this gift. He showed you this dream. It's up to you to make it a reality. And it is your responsibility to make it a reality. Nobody else's. You ain't gonna get favors, bro. You ain't gonna get a following. Only you see it. So if it's only you that sees it, then it means it must be only you working it into reality. See it, believe it, and make it happen. I think about Makado, R.I.P. Rikirik, one of the greatest artists that came out of this country. One of my biggest inspiration. In fact, I've never even mentioned that in any of my content about Ricky and the legacy that he left. And to me, it's a pure reminder that one day you're not going to be here. And one thing that you must be remembered for is you living life to the fullest, you giving your all, because that is the power that you have at this current moment. Material is not going to define you. Material will never define you. This is just someone's name. What we're using here, someone made this. But one thing I've realized that you will never get wealthy in life if you don't sell. We can't talk about being rich and yet we are not selling. I'm selling hope. I'm selling prosperity. I'm selling inspiration. And the price you pay is attention. So that's my biggest currency. Giving you as much value as you can get. The very same value that will point you back to yourself. You know what? I've not been doing it. I need to get back. I need to go back and make it a reality. Like everything is my fault. I'm not wrong. It ain't the outside. It's on me. I need to make this shit happen. You need to make this shit happen for you. If you could go back to the 15-year-old you, what could you do differently? To me, I would never do nothing differently. Because it led up to this. It's the daily action, the fact that we can make conscious choices and conscious decisions to say we're going to do this. It's a decision. You just need to make the decision every single day. Productivity, content, building, learning, rinse and repeat. Your life is not going to get better by chance. It's going to get better by change. So put that blame and the responsibility on you. Because you know what? Whoever has what they have been working for, it's because they worked for it. So why you go envy that person for what they worked for? Why you gonna hate? I'm thinking about young man now, younger me. Why is it easy for love to leave and hate to stay? The thing that comes naturally is the one that can leave. Like, you can love someone today, the next day you don't. But you can hate someone for the entirety of your life. It's because hate is taught and love comes naturally. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but I just want you to feed on that as we close this one. That you hating is something you were taught, consciously and unconsciously. And sometimes we hate and we don't even know that we're hating. Losers hate. Winners get inspired. Losers get jealous. Winners get inspired. One of the key components of success is help as much people to get what they want so that they can help you get what you want. Help as much people as you can to get what they want. What is it that people need right now that you have to offer, that you need to sit down, delegate, and find means to monetize that? Because you have the internet now. Use it to your advantage, because trust me, I'm going back to my drawing board. I'm going back to my drawing board. I'm fixing me. I'm putting the blame on me because it's on me. Like the future that I want, I'm the one who's going to create it. No one's going to come through that door and says, this is what I know you want, and make it a reality for you. So stop putting that on anybody but yourself. But don't forget, you matter. You're amazing, and you are here for a reason. The space between the time you were born and the time you will leave this earth is the most important thing. That is the life that you create for yourself. And the one thing, as I close, I want people to say, he lived. Stop surviving, he lived. He might not have had it all, but he lived. Because remember, when they say you had it all, there's all this material that is attached to that. That's my view set. He had it all. You can have every form of material and be the most unhappiest person. You can have the little of little things, but if you have a family, a roof over your head, love, laughter, appreciation, fighting for one another, internal peace, mental stability. People don't understand the price of mental peace. It's expensive, bro. Put the blame on you. As the motivational maniac, I'm signing out. This is another current state of mind. Namaste and shalom.